'Twas the week before Christmas and all through the land. People were coming up with a different type plan. 2020 was a year whose word was frankly fear. But as the calendar turns, I'm seeing the ability to learn. Learn what's really important. When life's aspirations, yeah, they're no longer dormant. I'm not speaking of 80-hour work weeks, emails, meetings, and, well, losing more sleep. Rather, family and friends. A balanced life. Purpose driven from morning until night. And as we take a few minutes to sit here and ponder those holiday gatherings of the past, we will no longer squander. The year of reflection is almost at an end. And so all I do is wish you happiness, my friend. Okay, poem time is over. Let's talk real estate. Let's go.
All right, for those of you who have never seen this show, I always start off with this slide. It says if we have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, we have a neutral market. If we have greater than 7 months worth of inventory, we have a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. What the slide does not say, anything greater than 9 months considered a hyper buyer's market. Anything less than 3 is considered a hyper seller's market. That's going to definitely come into play as we sit here and look at our two counties. Just like last week, as we start in Escambia County, there is everything up to $700,000 as a hyper seller's market. The luxury has gone up just slightly with 4.1 months. So if you've never seen the show, over here on the left is the purchase prices, or the list prices. Over on the right is the month's inventory. Just like I've said for the last couple of months, actually, these 100 to 250 is what scare me because they're under 1 month's inventory. We do not have a lot of houses. In this 0 to 50, I'm almost positive all of those are lots because 2 of those I have personally, and they're both lots. So, yeah, those will not be on the market long, I'm sure. We just are not, it is an inventory crisis right now. I was complaining about an inventory crisis in Santa Rosa County for a year and a half now. That's exasperated now with what COVID and the mortgage rates and everything else has done. Right now in Escambia County, some of this is seasonal. I don't want people to think that I'm discounting the season. There are people that do not put their house on the market until after New Year's. So will we see some of these inventories come up? Sure. January actually starts the spring buying season in our area because, well, we live in Florida. So I'm not having to deal with 8 foot of snow on the ground. So we start our buying season usually in January. But the buying season is going to be tough if these inventories stay the way they are, because what is it, 100 to 150, there's 37 properties active. That's it. So somebody trying to get that first time home buyer, there's only 37 of them active. 250 to 300, there's only 116. So, I mean, that's like the biggest inventory right there. The 250 to 300 is the biggest inventory, and the appetite is so strong for it, we are still at 1.6 months worth of inventory. So when I say, hey, it's just a lack of supply, no, it's also a huge demand curve. Your basic economics, supply, demand. We've got low supply and high demand. That's why we're also seeing prices continue to rise. And a lot of this 116 is new builds. So you can't move into some of these. Thank you, Alexa. Apparently something got delivered. All right, let's take a look at Santa Rosa County. And Santa Rosa County, just like it has for the last month and a half or so, everything in Santa Rosa County is a hyper seller's market. That $0 to $50,000, there's nothing. These same price points, 100 to 150, there's 5 houses. 150 to 200, there's 17 houses. So people call me going, hey, send me everything. I really can send you everything. I really can send you everything in Santa Rosa County. And it won't take you long to look through it because some of these are in horrible shape. But they're big houses, and with the proper rehab, they'd be great deals. But it's going to take someone with some vision to get them done. I've gotten a lot of calls lately about people wanting to flip people wanting to pick up properties to flip. Although those are out there, I've got a couple I'm working on right now, they are few and far between. To put it in perspective, my partners and I flipped 24 houses, just us. We're a small group. We flipped 24 houses 4 years ago. This year I flipped 3. And it was 3 properties, not necessarily houses. There's been 1 house. The rest of them have been lots. I'll buy a lot cheap and just turn around and flip it. That should share with you the inventory crisis we have, especially in Santa Rosa County. It's just ridiculous right now. So, anyways, I know we got the week before Christmas. Some people are not going to watch the real estate thing. That's why I tried to put the poem at front. Let me know what you thought about that. But I did want to make sure I brought you this week's number so you can see it. And I want you to see how things change. Hopefully, we start to get some more inventory come January. I know that the Pfizer stuff's out. There's a whole talk on vaccines, and I'm not even going to go there because that still seems to be a political hot button. And I'm not going to talk politics on this show. I'm just not going to do it. So we will leave that alone and just talk real estate and just talk numbers. Hopefully this actually gives you the information you're wanting to make. If you're thinking about doing something, let's say first quarter, second quarter next year, reach out, let's chat. I'm having tons of conversations about folks, even second quarter of next year, like when school's out, even though school's virtual, they're talking about when school's out already, what they're wanting to do, what they plan on doing. And that's fine. That's the normal conversations that I'm having right now. And that's okay. But you've got time to come up with a plan then. And the way the market's looking right now, obviously I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what it's going to be 5 months from now. But the way things are looking, the way the Fed's talking, with interest rates and everything else, we're still going to have a huge demand. So if you're looking at doing anything, buying or selling the next 6 months, give me a call. Shoot me a DM in this messenger. Let's chat. All right, we'll get values of property if you're a seller. We'll get you set up with lenders. We'll get the pre-approval process started. All the things that need to happen in the sequence that need to happen. Because right now, and let me talk to my buyers for just 1 minute. If you're looking at buying a property right now in our area, you can't skip sequences. I had this conversation yesterday with a client, a potential client, called me up, said, hey, I want to go look at this house and this house. I went, great. Who are we working with? Are we working with financing or are you just paying cash for it? Oh, no, I'll get pre-approved once we see houses. It's not the way this works right now. That might have been able to work in 2012 when we had a gluttony of properties. Right now, you need to do it in the proper sequence, which means we need to talk financing first if we're going to get financing. Because I have to write in the contract. If it's VA financing, that's a different addendum. If it's FHA financing, that's a different addendum. Some people in our area do USDA, and I hate this word because I always sound like I'm singing a bad Christmas song, which is USDA is a rural, I can't say that word for some reason. I just can't pronounce it. Rural development loan. That falls under FHA. So there's different guidelines. If we're going to use those, that's great, but we need to get those ducks in a row before we look at any houses. Because I can't tell you how many people will look at a house and it'll take a day or two to get the pre-approval. And in today's market, that day or two, you've lost it. It's done. And we will have people crying because they wanted to buy that home. They fell in love with the home, but they didn't do the process first. I don't like that scenario. That's why I push so hard to make sure we get our financing lined up first. Once we get that done, then we know we can make a strong offer because we're competing with cash offers. There's a lot of cash flowing in our area, a ton. I have seen 500, 600, 700,000. Working with a guy right now, he's considering making an offer on a $3.9 million condo. Cash. That's ridiculous. But that's the type of cash that's just flowing to our area right now. Especially when you start talking about some of the states from up in New England. Things just change. Anyways, that's the numbers this week. I don't want to go off on a tangent here. Hopefully you enjoyed the poem up front and you are ready for the holidays, which is next week. I cannot believe that. That's already here. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth.
On a mission.
Don't you just want the truth?